Momentum has a tendency to build quietly and then suddenly spill into the streets. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and this morning we're going to step into Mark chapter 11. One chapter, just 3 minutes, in a moment where expectations collide with reality. Jesus enters Jerusalem riding on a colt. People spread cloaks on the road and wave branches shouting Hosanna, which means save us now. Kind of important given the situation and the scenario that they're in right now. Culture is needing a savior more than ever. I don't know if you felt like that today too, but we're not in too much different of a space. You see, they're not just celebrating, they're hoping, they're longing, they're projecting some hope into the future. In their minds, this could be the moment everything changes for them politically and nationally. You've got to remember that Jesus comes riding into Jerusalem at a time when Rome is holding fast over top of Jerusalem. They need someone to save them. They think this Savior should come in on a big war horse and overthrow Rome. But Jesus doesn't enter on a war horse. He's riding on something humble, a beast of burden, something that gives the image that signals peace rather than revolt. And then he comes riding in, they're shouting, Hosanna, save us now, and he goes straight to the temple. Kind of odd. They think he's there to overthrow Rome, but he goes straight to the temple where the next day he overturns the tables and drives out those buying and selling. He accuses them of turning the house of prayer into something distorted. It's not random anger, it's targeted. He's confronting a system that lost its center. Friends, this is not about bake sales at church. This is about what is distracting us and changing our heart when it comes time for worship. On the way there's an odd moment with a fig tree. It looks healthy from a distance, but it bears no fruit. Jesus curses it, and later it withers and dies. Mark places that story around the temple cleansing for a reason. It's a living metaphor. Something can look alive, much like your local church, much like your faith. It can look religious, it can look active, and still be empty at its core if it's doing it with the wrong heart, not worshiping Jesus, but rather building a name for itself. The leaders begin looking for a way to destroy him. Authority is being challenged publicly at this point. And then there's one more exchange. They question where his authority comes from. Jesus answers with a question of his own about John the Baptist. They refuse to answer honestly because they're calculating outcomes rather than seeking truth. They're trying to trap Jesus yet again. You'd think they'd learn by now. So Jesus refuses to play along. You see, Mark 11 is about expectation versus reality, about the kind of king people wanted and the kind of king Jesus actually is, the king they actually needed. It quietly asks, are we drawn to God because we want control restored or because we want our hearts restored? Be well, friends.